The problem we were trying to solve was trying to help more students get engaged and learn more in introductory courses at the university. We focused on what we called gateway courses, which are courses that a lot of different majors use as requirements. So Chemistry 103 was one of those courses. We also found that in chemistry there was what we call an achievement gap between students of color and majority students. In other words, students of color, even when their ACT scores and their high school preparation was the same, were not performing as well. What we were focusing on were what can we do in the classroom that could help students. So we had a model of 5 best practices in teaching that we were trying to encourage the instructors of chemistry to use. So one is called learning in context. So teaching about global warming as a way to help students learn about acids and bases. So taking a real world problem, for example. Another is more time on task. The more time students study, the better they do. That's a no-brainer. A third one is group-based learning. So students do better when they work with others. The next one is frequent feedback. So students do better when they're given more feedback about how they're doing, both good and bad, in the class. And the last is a positive classroom climate, so kind of humanizing the experience so students and instructors have real human interactions around what they're learning. The chemistry department in particular has been very interested for a long time in making sure they do the best kind of teaching they can. So they were terrific to work with. And they very quickly took up the challenge of saying, oh, we could do better? Okay, let's do better. We've noticed several results. The achievement gap has stubbornly not moved much over the 2 years that we've been working on this, but we have seen some other changes. So some of the really interesting ones are students are studying more, about an hour more in these classes than in the comparison classes that we kept track of. Students are studying more in groups, and students of color in particular are studying more in groups. Those are 2 really good things. And then a really interesting finding is that students in these experimental courses have more sophisticated attitudes about chemistry. In other words, using a survey that we used, they're thinking more like chemists about chemistry. And thinking more like chemists appears to help them learn more as they move on through this course and into the future. There's a lot of research that shows that students of color, but all students, learn better when they feel more comfortable, when they feel like someone cares whether they're doing well or not, both peers and also instructors. And so we've done a lot to try and encourage those kind of positive classroom climate. But others in the department really got involved and were supportive of the changes that were being made. The chair of the department and the associate chair were both very supportive and made some budget contributions to make this project work. And now that the project's over, they're continuing to do these changes that are making a difference. Instructors actually changed the way they ran lectures and discussion groups so that they moved time around so that they could have evening workshops, they call them, instead of some of the discussion time and even some of the lecture time. So in these evening workshops, they were group study times to work on challenging problems and other homework problems together with the instruction of instructors and TAs. And that was a very successful program, and those students who came to those evening workshops did better than students who didn't. Teaching well is difficult. And so what I'd encourage all of us to do on campus is to take advantage of your colleagues, to talk about the teaching you're doing, to talk about the teaching problems and successes you're having, to visit the Teaching and Learning Excellence website and see what your colleagues on campus are saying about their teaching, participate in teaching dialogues in our teaching and learning symposium. There's a lot of resources to help with that.